Robotics, we're going to talk about volunteer opportunities. Good morning. My name is Abby Esmeyer. I am the District Senior Event Manager for the state of Wisconsin. I am the Chair of the Robotics Planning Committee. I'm an alumni mentor of T930. And when I'm not doing any of my robot stuff, I am a computer science student in the School of Engineering, and I have an internship at Capco. Why do you care about volunteering? First Wisconsin really, really needs you. Desperately needs you. A key thing about the district system is that there's more events. More events in Wisconsin that we have the same number of volunteers for. So we are really, really trying to promote and to recruit, and we want to spread out our volunteers that we do have to hopefully prevent burnout and not going to every single event every single week for like 2 months straight. Not ideal. It's also just a great way to give back and to have a short-term impact on the first program. You can volunteer for a day, for a couple days, for an event, and it's super great. A lot of people really, really love it, including myself. The big idea is that every single one of you in this room have skills and talents that can shine in volunteering in one way or another. Mentors, if your team's not competing at an event, you are a great judge. Parents, there are plenty of opportunities to volunteer field side where you can still watch your child compete, or only for a couple of hours if you really can't spare working for a whole day or a whole event. Alumni, volunteering is a great way to stay involved once you can lead your team. And students who want to learn new skills or have an event close to them that they're not competing at, volunteering is a great way to stay involved. Some divisions of, I divided this up into students, mentors, parents, and alumni because there are some roles that have different requirements. So some roles require you to be a certain age or to be post-high school, which students cannot do, unfortunately. And then some roles require different levels of first experience, which parents usually aren't as involved with. So if you're a student, you are qualified for several roles. Field reset, queuer, field assembly, disassembly, load in and out, safety glasses, spare parts. You can be a student ambassador, which is someone who basically tours around VIPs and helps introduce important people to the first program. And then a volunteer room attendant, which is basically just making sure that nothing gets stolen from volunteer rooms. Mentors are really, really good at things that require first experience. Specifically, a control system advisor, which is your CSA. This is usually for people who are more programming minded, but it doesn't really matter. Robot inspectors as well is usually a tad more mechanical electrical, but really any mentors who have had a hand on robot in the last 2 or 3 years would be great at either of those. And there's something that we really, really need in Wisconsin. If you are a mentor, you are a great judge if your team's not competing. There's rules about obviously fairness and other stuff, but we generally try to get mentors who are not involved with a team that is actively competing, or at least not more than 1 or 2. MCs, game announcers, people who have spent the last 6 to 8 weeks building a robot and understanding the game, and you're not afraid of a microphone, you're probably a good MC or game announcer. Machine shop staff, if your professional career is in machining, you're probably a great machine shop staff. Safety managers, if any of you are involved with the safety of your team, which I hope a lot of you are, you'd be a good safety manager to help make sure our events are being safe. And then scorekeepers are behind the desk person, someone who understands the game, who can keep timing, keep the event on track. Parents are really good for roles that don't need as much first experience. So field assembly and disassembly, we just need a lot of hands and a lot of people doing a lot of stuff. Field resetting, usually pretty simple, and we need 10 to 12 people per event per day. Inspection manager, helping sure that all of the robots are being inspected. It's more of a like administrative side, help manage the robot inspectors. Pin administrator, answer any questions that teams have, keep track of who's checked in, who's not. Practice field attendant, make sure no one is doing anything that shouldn't be on the practice field. Queuing, quiet room, safety glasses, webcast operator, and spare parts are quiet room, safety glasses, webcast operator, spare parts are all seated roles. If you're looking for something that does not have a lot of movement, Queuing is the opposite. Queuing is if you could get as many steps as you possibly can in one day. Uh, be a queuer. Alumni, I just highlighted a couple roles. If you're an alumni, you're probably good at everything on this list. But we have a lot of alumni referees, CSAs and inspectors. We have a lot of alumni, MCs and game announcers, lead queuers, taking on the management of the queuing as a whole, scorekeepers, and pretty much everything else. If it's on the presentation and you're an alumni, you would be good at it. Some local opportunities. This should look familiar if you're planning on competing at an event. So these are the district events that Wisconsin has for this season. Week 1 up in Lakeland in Plymouth, Wisconsin. That is March 6th through 8th. Week 3 in Appleton at Appleton East High School. That is March 20th to 22nd. Mugwanago week 4. That is right here where we're standing. So if you drove here today, you can come volunteer. That is the 27th through the 29th, not the 19th. So sorry. Week 5, Seven Rivers, that is April 2nd through 4th. That is the only Thursday through Saturday event. So if you're used to a traditional regional style, that is still the regional style dates. All of the other district qualifiers are going to be Friday, Saturday, Sundays. So you have no rest day between work or school on Monday. But you also have to take less time off of work or school to come volunteer or compete. And then our state district championship is the 17th through the 19th of April. That is also a Saturday, Sunday as well. Our biggest needs for FRC is judges. Judges, you must be 21 plus or post-college even is even better. We're really trying to make sure that any alumni are kind of distanced from their teams. We need a bunch of inspectors and CSAs. Inspectors are usually needed more at the front part of an event, and then they can transition to something else, or if you can only volunteer like Friday night, be an inspector. CSA. Jeff Paul, District Senior Lead Robot Inspector is here. Talk to him if you're interested in inspecting and CSA. Do you oversee that as well?
I don't, but I can talk about it.
He can talk about it. We do really need CSAs. We don't have a super great pipeline from our CSAs already. So if you are good with programming, with problem solving, with teams who are having issues maybe on the field, electrical issues also fall under the CSA category, consider volunteering as a control systems advisor. The AV crew, so something new with districts that isn't as public is that we are no longer being provided AV and event management from FIRST. We now have to do all of it ourselves. So which means we have not had a lot of people doing AV before for our events. So if you are interested in AV, DJing, webcast operating, just sound and audio in general, microphone stuff, running the event, scorekeeping. We need people at every single event. And if you want to be the AV director for the state of Wisconsin, we're also looking for one of those. Field reset and queuers, we just kind of always need, depending on what the game turns out being, we're either going to need a bunch of field resetters or not that many. If there's a whole bunch of game pieces, we're going to need a whole bunch of people to wrangle the game pieces. Queuers, especially if you want to go event, you have to get from that gym over there all the way down to the west gym. That is a long walk, and we need a lot of queuers to stage people, to get them down the hallways. Other events don't have quite as long as a walk, but if you're here and you like talking to people, yelling at people, using your phone to see who's next, everyone loves using their phone. You might be a good queuer. Scorekeepers, we kind of touched on. Field assembly and disassembly. The field needs to get up in about 8 hours at every event, and it also needs to come down in more like 4 hours. Please help us. Everyone needs more people to help assemble and disassemble. And then webcast operator, that falls in the AV level as well. people who can make sure online our events are looking good. FTC stuff is still going on. I know none of us here are currently wearing an FTC team shirt. You may be on a different FTC team. But there are a couple events still going on. A week from today, there's an FTC event at MSOE that I am the volunteer coordinator for. We are still looking for some people if you want to field reset or queue or be a robot inspector for FTC. Shameless plug right there. There is a Madison event the week after that, and then the week after that, there is 2 events in Brookfield, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. The one on Sunday is an all-rookie event, so teams that have never competed before can go compete there. And then the FTC State Championship is down in Beloit for the first time this year at Beloit College. That is March 13th and 14th. That is week 2 of the competition FRC season. Remember how we have no events week 2 in Wisconsin? We have FTC State, and all of you can come volunteer at FTC State. Madison is January 31st. It's not a Monday. I don't know where I was looking when I put that on yesterday, but the other one should be right. The biggest needs for FTC is also a lot of the same. We need a lot of judges. If you are post-high school, you can be an FTC judge, so it's a little bit easier. Judging for FTC is a mix between FLL and FRC judging, so there's both a structured interview and pit judging, so it's pretty cool and pretty unique. We need inspectors in the state. Inspection takes less time with an FTC robot than it does with an FRC robot. We need more field resetters. The FTC game has a lot of colored wiffle balls, and a lot of robots will shoot them outside of the field during the match, and we need people to go run around and pick them up. Pretty fun. Referees, you need 5 referees for 1 FTC field, and most FTC events run 2 fields simultaneously. So that means you need at the minimum 10 referees for an event. So we need a lot of referees for FTC. AV crew, we run all of the AV crew as a Wisconsin district for FTC as well, so that may be a good way to get introduced to it before you would maybe come to an FRC district event. And then queuers, same thing. Teams need to get from one place to another. People need to get from one place to another. We need more people to do that. Some frequently asked questions about volunteering is, what do I get for it? And really, what more could you want other than a free shirt, free food, and a cool name badge that says your name, and then some volunteer swag from Reefscape I have up here. After my presentation, if you would like to come get some buttons, some stickers, some pins, and some wristbands. For coming to my volunteer presentation, you can get some volunteer swag from our last season. What should I wear? Same thing you would wear to an event that you're competing at. Comfortable clothing, closed-toed shoes. You should bring safety glasses. And then if you're volunteering for multiple days, we recommend that you wear some sort of undershirt because you only get 1 volunteer shirt as a volunteer. So we don't want smelly volunteers. Please wear an undershirt. That would be preferred. And then how do I sign up? So if you are on a team, you have a first account somewhere. Maybe it's tied to your parents still. But you go sign in, firstinspires.com, and you go to your dashboard. There's an event volunteering tab. You can go sort by whatever program you're looking for. FLL still going on, FTC or FRC. You say Wisconsin, and then you can click volunteer here. And then you can select what roles you're looking for. If you are above 18, you have to do what's called a YPP, the Youth Protection Program. It's a background check. First page for it. It's free. But you have to do it and pass it before you can be assigned as a volunteer. So when you sign up for something, it'll say like, begin YPP screening here. Do that, it takes like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And then you also sign a consent and release. That's basically like, first can take your picture and put it on the website. And if you need help, there's another QR code there for like new or additional volunteer registration assistance. They recently revamped their whole volunteer website, so it's a lot simpler to use. 2 years ago, this would be a nightmare, but now it's pretty good. And then just some sign up tips. If you're putting you're available, it'll ask you what days you're available. Please make sure those are accurate. Uh, and if you can only volunteer for part of a day, there's a spot that says like send additional information to the volunteer coordinator. Put that in there so we know, and we don't sign you up for a whole event and you're like, oh, I can actually only volunteer on Sunday. It's not ideal. Uh, Volunteering for all the days is really helpful for certain roles. Field reset, queuing, and practice field. Usually official scores, but it doesn't look like we'll have official scores this game. So practice day or practice night for districts is really important to have volunteers as well. Depending on the field setup, we will have practice matches. So then we need people to, field resets and queue teams for those. We will take absolutely any help we can get. Last year, I was a volunteer coordinator for the Phantom Lakes event. I had people who were volunteering for 2 hours on one day, and they said they can come and they could sit at the safety glass table, and it was great. They got a shirt. It was awesome. They were a really big help. And then training will be provided for your roles. Some roles have training that you need to complete beforehand on the First Inspired website. Some roles you will get training morning of or day of. And then if you don't know what you want to volunteer as, there's a role that says assign me as needed. Click that, put it on the bottom of priorities, put it on the top, and then the volunteer coordinators for the event can see where they need you the most, see what your qualifications are, and help out where you will be best fit. Is there any questions about volunteering before you can come get some swag? Cool. Well, I hope to see you all at a district event or an FTC event in the future. And come get some RuneScape swag before the game is totally useless and not important anymore because we have a new game. Thanks, guys.